Trading card games like Riftbound have two main ways to get cards, either by buying sealed product, such as a booster pack or a starter deck, or getting singles online. But what if there was a way to keep the fun of opening packs and the ability to guarantee you can get what you need? In this series, I'll start with just 2 starter decks and an allowance of 3 packs per week, upgrading my deck, but only by using, selling, or trading the cards that I've managed to pull from packs that I get, eventually aiming to have a full power deck with the aim to win a summoner skirmish. Welcome to ThriftBound. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 2 of ThriftBound. So last episode went a lot better than I thought, not in terms of games, but in terms of what we managed to pull from our packs, because we managed to get a spinning axe. So hopefully we can actually get something good and improve our deck quite a lot. We are obviously still planning to go for the baited hook build in the end for our Fiora deck, but that's probably going to take us longer than a couple weeks to get to. So for now we need to look for the regular mid-range Fiora cards. So obviously the main ones being the Set Brawler, the yellow Fiora Victorious, and basically all the good commons and uncommons that we can get. I have quite a lot to do to try and mark on this list to make sure it's a lot more playable than it was before, but hopefully we can buy some cards, get some cards from people at locals, and hopefully when we show up this Friday or this weekend, we can perform a bit better than going 1 and 2, but we'll just have to wait and see. But let's open our packs for the week and see what we can get, and then from there see what cards we can use to improve our deck. Right, so I have my 3 packs for the week. I haven't sold or done anything with my cards yet. I still have the same value like I had from the end of last episode. I can't remember exactly how much it was. I think it was like £29. So hopefully we can pull something good and maybe even just add some uncommons or something to the deck. So yeah, let's get into the packs. I think this way is just easy to open them. There we go. So, like I said before, I'm only really looking for the yellow or orange cards. Ramhound, no, I don't think so. Vanguard, no. Blood Money, it's a good card, I just don't think I'd play in this. Emperors, Dies, whatever. Another Forest Forerunner, that's just a good card. Another Azir, I swear I had the same pack before. And a Downwell, okay. So we're starting off strong. I think this might be about £10 now, or maybe even less. I cannot keep up with it, how much cards are anymore, especially with it only being the week after Spirit Forge, but definitely a good pickup. So already I'm basically going to be happy no matter what else we get from this. So on to the second pack. Okay, through Captain, a Royal Guard. I think we're only actually looking for uncommons at this point in time. I don't know if there's any commons that we actually need. A Battering Ram, another Raven Bloom, a foil Hexplate, Under Titan. I think this might actually get played in the Hug version. I'm not entirely sure, but either way, it's still a good yellow card, and we might actually play it. A Jax Legend, and a Chaos Rune. I think this is still the most expensive one. So from these 2 packs, we've already had Downwell and a purple Chaos Rune. So we're doing way better than I ever imagined we actually would. I was happy to end things off with just a Downwell. But yeah, I've had these packs sat on my desk since locals. As a motivation to make sure to edit my video. So I'm only just opening these after finally uploading episode 1. So we'll see if we can get another pull. I doubt we will, especially with what we've already had, but you never know. Another Breakneck Mech, a foil Gem Jammer, an Aurelia. So we've had three legends, but I can't really complain. A Jax and a Sun Soldier. So
The last pack, not the best, but I'm not going to complain. So I will, with this value that we've pulled, I'll have a look and to see what we can get. We should hopefully be able to get one set, riposte, all the yellow furors, all the uncommons and commons that we need. So maybe even from these two we can just get a second set, and maybe after our second set we can just go for the baited hooks. So I think I might be finished way faster than I thought, but who knows? We'll have a look and see.
So I was definitely slightly off on the prices of the cards, considering Downwell was only about £4 and the Chaos Rune that we pulled was only about £6.40 at the time of recording this. Obviously the prices are fluctuating quite a lot, considering Spirit Forge has only been out for about a week at this point. So the prices that I'm trying to keep track of are going to keep changing quite a lot, especially with the amount of regionals and stuff that are going on. So yeah, I definitely am not getting 2 sets. I'm just under getting about 2 sets worth, but we still have managed to get quite a big improvement for everything. We've managed to get 1 set, a riposte, a couple sabotage, some of the yellow Fiora Victorious, and basically all of the commons and uncommons. All the commons and uncommons on Card Market are literally 2 cents or 2p each, so I've kind of just automatically included them because people were basically just giving them away at locals. So I don't think for the rest of the series, unless it's something like Stacked Deck, which is worth like at least a couple pounds, I'm just going to kind of skip over the value of those ones. But yeah, I'll see if I can get in touch with people from locals and arrange a deck for the weekend and see what I can improve.
Right, I thought I'd do a deck profile just of the deck that I'm going to play this weekend, and yeah, we'll just jump into it. So I've got obviously still got the Fiora Worthy and the Grand Duelist Legend. Then for runes, I'm playing 7 and 5, just because that is basically the power split in the deck. Once we get to Hook, eventually, I think you go more yellow heavy than orange, but we can work that out once we get there, just because Hook is a yellow card and it needs yellow power. And then my battlefields are Monastery, Sunken Temple, and Trifarian War Camp. Monastery is my game 1 card. Trif is my going first card after game 2 and game 3, and then Sunken Temple is my going second card. I'm not entirely sure if I want to keep the Sunken Temple. Monastery is obviously good because there's not really a whole lot of decks that really use buffs except Fiora herself. Triff just means you can trigger your legend ability better, and you normally have quite a few guys on board. And the Sunken Temple, your guys, you can make your guys mighty. That's the entire point of the deck. But sometimes there are a couple of decks that feel like they take better advantage of this than you, like a miracle deck. But because of the rest on the Barrier, I was already mighty. But I'll have to have a look to see if there's anything better. I don't really think there is. But yeah, they're still pretty good. They all worked out pretty well for me whenever I've played them. So for the actual main deck, for the units, I've got 3 Hero, 3 Rookie, and 2 Honest Broker. I just wanted the 8 to make sure I have a consistent 2-drop. It's not too important for going second, because most of the time I just play the Chosen Champion, the Worthy, most of the time. But it's good to make sure that you have a play turn 1, and all these cards basically work with the strategy anyway. Unsung Hero obviously is great card draw. Rookie gives the buff, works with the Monastery, and just making sure you hit the mighty target. And Broker's just like the 3rd best 2-drop. Just a gold is always good. For 3s, I've got 2 First Mate and the Lucian. Obviously Lucian is very good against like Draven and stuff like that, just because you can move in and conquer, move back, and you don't give them like a guy on the field to combat and draw a card. It's Weapon Master 3, really easy to trigger, the Legend ability, and yeah, it's just a really good card. Same with like First Mate, giving something, being able to ready something so that you can basically turn something else into Lucian, conquer, and then ready it with the First Mate and then move it back. They're just really good cards. For 4s, I've got the 2 Fiora and the 1 Akshan. The yellow Fiora is one of the best cards on the deck. It's quite easy to see why. it's only any buff gets it to 5, and then it has 3 keywords: deflect, ganking, and shield. And yeah, it's just really good. There's not really much to say. It's just really good. Akshan is part of like gear removal kind of. It's also weapon master, which is really good at being 4. So any weapon that you equip to it will make sure that it's 5 and triggers the legend ability. And just being able to steal something, obviously like taking an overall is like the dream, but taking any type of gear is always really good, especially if it's like a spinning axe on a Draven, just making this a 7, because even if this dies on your turn, the spinning axe is temporary, so it will just die when it gets to their beginning turn as well. Then for the other 2 big units, I've got a Set and a Ruin Runner. I basically just wanted to test out the Ruin Runner, just because it's good against some matchups, and I wanted to see if it was as good as it's been hyped up to be. It's been good. I don't know if I'd main it, but I think I definitely have like 1 or 2 copies on the side. And then Set is Set in this deck. Like, it's just the best big card that you have. It triggers everything by itself. You can, if you have the Fiora worthy chosen champ unit out, you basically can just trigger it instantly and attack into something with 8 with basically accelerate. So yeah, I definitely need to get 3 of this and then 3 of the yellow Fiora. For gear, I've got a pretty standard lineup of the 3 BF sword, the 3 Doran's blade, and the 1 Warmogs. BF sword's definitely the best. Once you get it on the board, just giving 3 to anything makes basically everything in the deck is 2 or more, so it triggers basically everything to get mighty. Doran's blade is kind of the same. Everything that's not a 2-drop, I think this sounds mighty, and the Warmogs is like the 3rd best. I just wanted a bit more to be able to see a gear, because sometimes you can miss a gear and it like really messes with like how the deck plays. Like, as long as you see 1 equipment, like the deck runs normally fine. It's just making sure that you see 1 of them. For spells, I've got 2 Sabotage, 2 Punch First. There's not really much to say about Punch First. I'm only playing 2 because sometimes if you already pay a power cost for something in a turn, like a Set, you do start to choke through your runes a bit too fast. And also just the threat of having this in your hand is almost as good as having it in your hand as well. Sabotage is kind of like gear removal. It's just being able to look at someone's hand. So when you go to make a push, you just sabotage, and it's just, yeah, getting to remove stuff like a spinning action, like forcing a Draven to use it as reaction speed, and then getting rid of like a rebuke. It's obviously just really good. Hidden Blade, I'm not entirely sure on this one. It's good, but I basically only use it to kill my opponent's stuff when it starts to get to like late game. I don't think I've used this on my own guys yet, but I think I'm still going to keep it around for now, just to keep seeing how it goes. 3 challenge. This card is just ridiculous, actually. You can normally always make your guy big enough, like Set gets to 8, and most things you can just kill with a challenge to 8, and it being action speed, it just means that you can hold a battlefield with like a big Set or Fiora. They tried to take the other one, you just challenge, kill their guy, and for basically free. So yeah, this card's just ridiculous. And then kind of the same with Riposte. This card is a bit weird sometimes because it obviously is 2 power to it, but just being able to negate a spell and then buff a unit, it's a really good counter spell, but sometimes it's not as good as you think it would be. But yeah, I think at least for now I'm definitely going to keep it at 3. And then Salvage and a Death Grip. Salvage is just gear removal. I think you need to main some amount in decks this format, even if it is just to kill like seals for like miracle decks. And then Death Grip, I just wanted to try it out, but like this card is really good. It kind of overperformed. I kind of want to play more. I just don't know what I'd cut. The draw one is obviously really good, and just being able to do like a combat trick, even like killing your own guy, because I remember at some point I've punched first my unsung hero, then Death Gripped it to kill it, draw 2, and then buff something else. So I've drawn 3 with the draw of the Death Grip. But yeah, it's just really versatile. You normally have enough units to make sure this is good as well. For the side deck, I've got Sabotage and Salvage, just more good copies of good cards in the deck. This goes in against like more gear heavy decks, obviously. Then 3 Forge of the Future. This is for miracle decks, because when you play it, you get a recruit token at base, and then you can kill this and shuffle 4 cards from any trash, so from yourself or your opponents, or a mix of both. So you just basically shuffle back 4 of your Miracle players' spells, so they can't use Fizz, and then the Wraths have become more expensive, and it just, yeah, because the Miracle decks are quite good. Then I've got 2 Cannon Barrage. This is basically for regular Draven. It's just for Overzealous Fan, so you can attack it and they Overzealous Fan trigger, you Cannon Barrage, and then you kill their fan, and then you can just go to combat like normal. And also the 2 damage on anything else they have on board. It kind of would come in against like Victor or something like that. I just didn't play any. And there's not really much at our locals either. And then the second Ruin Runner.
So this match that I'm playing is round 3. It's game 1 versus Ezreal, as you can see. I picked the Monastery Battlefield going first like always, and then he's on Mirage Spires, who's game 1 Battlefield. He won the dice roll, he goes first. Luckily he doesn't have a turn 1 play, which is always good. And then I just do the default of playing the Fiora worthy Chosen Champion straight away as I'm going second and have 3 runes up. I think it's just like the most efficient thing, especially with this hand, because I don't really have like another 3-drop or like a 2-drop or anything to use. I have the Pit Rookie, but I just think it's better to just use the Fiora to use all the energy in the turn. He plays the Rat, the Pit Crew. My hand's looking pretty good, especially with the yellow Fiora, so I just play it down to get a good body on the board, and then Sabotage to try and look through his hand and get rid of like more of the draw. And any of the really just the good cards in his hand, just to make sure that I'm being quite efficient with my energies as well. I could have maybe kept the Sabotage for a later turn, but I just thought it would be, because next turn I can play the Pit Rookie, get a draw by sending my Fiora into the battlefield, and hopefully get like another 4-drop or just still have a pretty good turn. Because most of the cards in the deck are even cost, so being 2 or 4. So he plays down an Ezreal, starts to look through some cards and just dig through his deck to try and find what he needs. Probably gear for the Rat that he has on the board. So he moves in with the Pit Crew, scores a point, and then he Bellows Breaths my base, and it he manages to kill the Fiora worthy from the Stupefy earlier, so it's quite annoying. I don't think against some decks that have like base removal, maybe you don't play the Fiora worthy. I wasn't really thinking about that at the start of the game. But it's not bad if he uses all of his cards to get rid of it, even though it was pretty easy for him to do, because he is back on 2 runes now. He plays the Cole to move his Pit Crew back, and then on my turn, and like I said, I play the Pit Rookie on the Fiora, make it mighty, trigger the legend, move it into the Monastery, and then spend the buff to draw a card, just to cycle through my deck a bit more. My hand is pretty good. I'm just feeling kind of vulnerable with not having enough spells. I mean, not enough units. So I just want to try and clear the board and use my spells pretty much to make sure that I stay at least ahead for now, since he only has 2 runes up, so we can't really do a lot or like push too much. So I just challenge to kill his Rat, because if he sends in the Ezreal, it's a lot easier to kill. But annoyingly, he does have another Rat to play. So I managed to hold, draw, and I'm just trying to think of being able to kill the Ezreal, since if I do manage to kill it, that is one of his Ezreals that's gone, and he just does have the Pit Crew left as his units. Making sure that I always stick more bodies on the board, and then yeah, I go to push in. Even it does end up being a trade because of the Stupefy, but it's not that bad from my side, I don't think. So I re-equip the Doran's Blade to the, well, I equip the Doran's Blade after it falls off to the Fiora, trigger the Legend ability, and then it's now mighty, so it has ganking from its own effect, and then push that over so I still get to take the battlefield. And I'm feeling quite good at this position, because he only has about 5 or 6 cards in hand, and I've got the double riposte. So he plays another Ezreal after he moves in the Pit Crew just to take a point, and then he starts to develop his board a bit more, playing a Seal so he can pull back his Pit Crew. and at this point he plays the cold shot, and I think I'm actually supposed to riposte here, because it means that he will be on, I think, 4 or 5 cards in hand and still only on 4 runes. Even though I don't get the buff and I don't get to trigger any like buff anything, if it's like 2 power and 2 energy for like a 0 cost card. But with his hand and how the deck plays, just wanting to find cards so you're always ahead, I think it was the right thing to do. But it just felt kind of wrong to do it, because it feels like he's going up on like his energy and like power, and then he goes to retreat the pit crew, and I also think I'm supposed to riposte this as well, because it means that the pit crew is not stuck there, but it gives him an extra room basically for free. It means that I can't kill it if I do draw something like a challenge, because the pit crew at this point is like the best monster that he has apart from like the bigger units on his deck, like a watcher. So I just draw, I move in my unsung hero to the other battlefield to conquer. I've got the punch first as well, to, if he does attack the unsung hero, to buff that, and I have the riposte in case he's drawn like a bag or something, a hard bargain, to negate that. Annoyingly, he plays the watcher, and if I riposted the retreat, he wouldn't be able to play the watcher accelerated this turn. So then he moves into the battlefield with the Fiora, equipping the cull, and I'm trying to think of what to do on how to like clear the board. And luckily, drawing the punch first, it does mean that I have something to do. He moves his cull because he puts on the wrong one. It's only local, so I'm fine with him just moving stuff around. So what I end up doing is I end up punch firsting the unsung hero, and then using the death grip in my hand as well. So I still get the 2 draws off the unsung hero, the draw off the death grip, and I buff my Fiora so that it is able to, I think, trade with the board. I can't remember exactly, but because we're still in the combat, I have more chances to like draw things to make sure that I'm ahead, or at least more even with his might, so that he doesn't just take the battlefield straight away. So I draw my cards. I do manage to draw a salvage, which I do end up playing. I'm thinking whether I have to salvage to hit the cull, because then we trade, and I draw a challenge, and obviously I can't challenge to kill anything because we're still going to be in the combat, and I'm not going to get my, with the Fiora's not going to heal, so it'll basically just be a wasted challenge. If he had something in base, then like if he left the edge of the base, I think I might have been tempted to do that, but I'm just trying to think if there's anything else for me to do. But we do end up trading, but it's not that bad. I'm still ahead by 1 on points, but I just don't really have any units, which is like the worst part of my hand. I just have spells and I have the equipment. I did manage to draw a Ruin Runner though, especially in this matchup, which is pretty good. So I play it down. I don't equip the Doran's Blade or really play anything else because I want to keep mana up for like a riposte or like a challenge, because I probably only need to play 1 and I needed to put the unit down. So he plays the rat, and then I believe he plays a Boots of Swiftness down to ready his rat. Yeah. And then he goes to move into the battlefield, and I challenge this, but I didn't realize that Rune Runners only got 5 might, and then the Boots of Swiftness obviously give it 2. So when they fight, my Rune Runner also dies, and if I equipped with the Doran's Blade, he only has 1 mana up, so he only could like stupefy me as well. So I win the trade, he has no guys on board, and I still have my unit, and everything just works out better for me. The only reason I didn't do it is because I wanted for next turn, if I drew something, to be able to equip the Doran's Blade to that, but I have a Doran's Blade in hand and a BF sword, like I don't think I needed to do that at all. So on his next turn, he plays the Mind Splitter, rips the Doran's Blade, so now he knows I have 2 riposte, so my hand is now so much worse because he can just play around with riposte, and he's basically playing around my entire hand. So I managed to pick up an unsung hero, move it to the battlefield, equip it with the BF sword and the Doran's blade. So even if he does manage to kill it, I draw the cards. I just keep the hidden blade in hand because there's no point hiding it at the battlefield, because it basically gives away that it is a hidden blade most likely, or maybe something like a face breaker. Obviously I can just activate them as action speed. So I hidden blade his mind splitter, because in case he has something else obviously to attack in, I still get the draws. And obviously I'm close to like winning the game, because next turn I go to 6 here, I believe, or 5. I'm just on 5. So if I get like another unit, I'm at a pretty good position. All I do is I just draw a hidden blade though. So I have, my hand is Riposte and hidden blade, and then he plays a Watcher. But because the Watcher will already minus my unsung hero, unless he plays a spell, I basically run out of cards on the spot, because all he has to do is, I have no way to make the unsung hero mighty again, unless he plays a spell, which he doesn't do, because obviously he knows the Riposte in hand. So he sends in the Ezreal, and I can either hidden blade myself or the Ezreal. I think I'm supposed to hidden blade myself and then hopefully draw into a card, but at that point I think the game is just maybe too hard to win anyway, because he'll have both battlefields, he'll have a big Watcher, he'll have basically mana and cards upon me because he's playing a control version. So I don't really think there's much that I can do to win. I'm just kind of hoping to draw some type of good card off the top of my deck, but I don't really think there's anything at this point that I can draw that lets me win the game. But so I draw the set. I don't have a choice. I'm just going to play it anyway because I have the runes for the Riposte. I buff it, and then I think I also equip it with the BF sword, because there's no point not to at this point. I don't really have any of the units, just in case I do manage to draw something like a just in case something does happen in the game. At this point I've pretty much given up, because it's just almost impossible for me to come back from this position with the amount of advantage in every way that he has in cards, the board, his runes and everything. And now his Watcher can also gank across and just score both the points this turn for him to go ahead on points as well. So he goes to pay for, I think, a Rebuke or another unit, I can't remember. Oh, a Mind Splitter. Obviously rips the last Riposte out of my hand, so he doesn't have to be scared of basically anything at this point. I'm literally only top decking. Then I get my runes, draw for turn, and the only choice that I have is to attack in, but unfortunately he has a Rebuke in hand, which is, yeah, not really much I could do at that point. So he ends up taking the first game of the match. So this week at Locals went way better than I thought it was ever going to go. The cards that we managed to get definitely helped out with the strategy and just the overall performance of the deck. Even just the regular commons and uncommons like the Death Grip and the Hidden Blade, along with obviously the MVP probably is just the set and the Yellow Furos, because they're just amazing every time you see them. Well, when you can see them. But yeah, we managed to go 3-1 today. I played all 3 Dravens in the room, 2 of them mid-range, 1 Miracle, and I lost to that Miracle in the last round. And I managed to beat an Ezreal as well. All the games were very close. I think if basically anything else changed in the games that I won, I was definitely going to lose. They weren't easy ones to win by any means, and I definitely got quite lucky to be able to win even 2 Draven matchups with the deck how it is right now. But hopefully once we get a bit more and we get 3 sets and we've got basically everything but the hooks, we can make sure that we can keep up the pretty good win rate that we have at the minute. But yeah, we'll have a look at the packs that we got, because I managed to come second, come in 3-1, I got 2 extra Spirit Forge packs along with the 1 pack and the 1 Nexus Night from entering the tournament. So we'll open up that and see if we can pull anything good to start working on the other sets.
Right, so locals, we went 3-1. So we have our entry pack, our 2 packs for coming second overall in the event, and then our Nexus pack as well for our entry. So let's see if we can get something as good as we got last time. I don't think there's anything specific we're looking for Spirit Forged, because obviously we need hook and set from last set. Obviously anything that's worth, or just kind of worth anything, will help us out. So if I can open my packs correctly, there are still a couple uncommons and just like random rares that I need for like other decks as well, because I think I might build Ezreal. But Shirelia's, that's not bad. I think that's like the best Ornn card, the best Ornn signature that there is. So hopefully that's worth something. I'll have to put the price in and check afterwards. Okay, pack number 2. I'd always be happy with getting another Death Grip. I mean, it's uncommon, so it's not hard to get anyway. But oh, speaking of, I guess we just get one. Another bag, it's always good. A foil temple, a blue Ezreal, and an altar of memories. So last pack. Bushwhack, great. I don't, cold shots are okay. Yeah, like I said, I think we're just looking for cards that have value, because it's not, we're not doing a full sealed only, so hopefully we can get not another legend and a good card. Oh, Red Draven, we did get a good card. I don't know anything about prices now, but Draven and the Shirelias, we should be able to get something worth value with these 2. But I'll just have to look at the prices and double check to see what we can actually get. I don't think we're close to getting another set anytime soon, unless I can get something good for my Nexus Night pack. We'll have to see. Oh, a full Dawn's Blade, that we could play that. A Harpoon Squad. Oh, and a Chaos Rune. Okay. Okay, so it's not, definitely not awful. We've got 3 cards. So Chaos Rune, Shirelias, and a Draven. Yeah, I'll just have to look and see what we can get. Not bad at all.
All in all, it's been a really good week. We did well at locals. We pulled a couple more good cards to add some value to our bank. So we're ending this week with £11 and 5 pence in the bank. We're not at another set yet. We're about halfway there. So hopefully by the end of next week, we'll be able to purchase our second set. I'll have a look to see if there's anything that I want to change to the deck list. I might change a couple of ratios here and there, but I don't think there's going to be any more major changes until we start trying to get baited hooks into the deck, because at that point we're going to need stuff like Harness Dragon and just different targets to get off the hook, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and all the other boring YouTube stuff, and bye.